I don't know. I have a big question for you.
What?
About music right now.
Okay.
Because I know nothing about it.
What do I know?
Right
Neither
now.
do I.
Well, my big question is, does music, in the same way that comedy in movies, is it impacted what's going on with this political climate? Like they say that movies, the more zombie movies there are, the more that it's tapping into our fear of homelessness and poor people.
Interesting.
And remember all of the movies in the 80s about like killer nannies? Remember nannies used to like, you know, the hand that rocks the cradle and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And all those Demi Moore movies where she was like fucking everyone at the office and ruining. It was like our fear of women entering the workplace, right? And not being home all the time. Like, comedy, I know exactly what's going on with comedy right now in terms of like the pendulum swinging with being so afraid of woke culture and being so afraid of getting canceled. Yeah. Is that happening in music?
I don't know, because I don't pay enough attention to like what's going on in modern popular music.
Yeah.
But you're right, things are cyclical. I feel like, I mean, you know how the music industry sort of works.
The music industry, from what I understand, changes every day.
Okay, I'll give you a good example. A long time ago, there was a website that was called, I think it was called hitsong.science.com. And there were these mathematicians that came up with a mathematical formula to determine whether your song was going to be a hit or not.
Whoa.
So they would assign it a formula based on its tempo and time and key and whatever. So your song would have like basically a number, right? And then they would throw it into their system, and it would come out. The readout almost looked like stars in the night sky. So each song is like a little star. So you're looking at this readout, and there's like stars everywhere, but there's these clusters of stars that almost look like little galaxies. And so those were, I think they called them like hit clusters or something. If your song fell into one of those clusters, then more likely than not, it would become a hit.
Whoa.
The only reason being is because it shared the same formula as a lot of other songs. So what that means is when something becomes popular, you wind up getting a lot of stuff that sounds just like it coming behind it because that's what's popular at the moment. So it could be a tempo. That's the thing that drives me crazy about popular music, is that once someone gets like a song that's got like a beat, then all of a sudden that's
everything
the only,
sounds like
if
that.
I have to hear the for every song for the last 3 fucking years.
Yeah.
As a drummer, I'm like, it's like
Calming you down.
I'm so fucking pissed off about that beat. No, but it's like, you know, there's just more out there than that. So I think what happens when something becomes popular, I don't know if you consider it relevant, but then everything sort of gravitates towards that. And basically that just determines or dictates or influences everything around it. Just because the music industry, they just want to sell records.
Yeah.
They just want your song on the radio. They just want to make money from publishing, and they want to do shit like that. So, it's the stuff that's kind of off the beaten path that I get into. And I think that those sort of things might be a little more influenced or inspired by life rather than just like an industry thing. Like, a good example is Billie Eilish, and I've talked about her a million times because my daughter is obsessed with her. I mean, the thing that I think is so exciting about that, her explosion in popular music, is that it was based on something real, and that real thing was the connection that she had with people like my daughter. And so her lyrics are real and heavy and dark and very emotional. So
authentic.
Like, my kid's not gonna get that if they turn on a fucking Cardi B song. I'm sorry, but it's just not the way it is. I mean, Cardi B's awesome and fun to dance around to, but if you're looking for a real, like, deep emotional connection, it's, Billie Eilish really has that.
Yeah.
And those are the things that really kind of spawn revolutions, like musical revolutions, because it has less to do with the radio or the industry and stuff. It has more to do with a real connection with listeners.